Welcome to the Board of Trustees regular meeting, February 10th, 2026. Can I get a motion to open? First, trustee Gupta, second, trustee Asuma, all in favor? Everybody, Jess is not in this meeting yet. And we'll do, I guess, clerk, can we do roll call first?
Yes, ma'am. Just so the mayor and trustees understand the procedure, as I call your name, if you are in attendance this evening, you'll simply reply by stating present. For those trustees that are attending remotely, I will have to confirm with you that you can hear, speak, and are able to participate from your remote location. So let us begin. Trustee Asuma.
Here.
Trustee Gupta.
Here.
Trustee Patino.
Present.
Trustee Rosenberg.
Present.
Trustee Rothrock.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Galen.
Present.
Mayor Nell.
Present.
Okay, we have a count of 7 present, 0 absent, and a quorum is available this evening. Thank you.
And I just want to point out, for the benefit of the minutes, that Deputy Mayor Galen is participating remotely under extraordinary circumstances. So her address is not on the agenda or in the notice of meeting.
I want to see if there's a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters of personnel that are specific. Lori Lee, anything else I need to say in regards to that?
No, that's certainly a valid reason under open meetings law to enter into executive session.
Okay, is there a motion? Trustee Rosenberg, second, trustee Gupta, all in favor? All right, so we'll be back in like 10, 15 minutes. We just have to go have a conversation back.
Yeah.
Hi, am I calling in?
Yeah, this works fine.
Okay.
Kids can call Jeff.
Oh, of course.
We'll just have 2 phones going.
The phone's outside.
Oh, how?
Maybe we can turn off the microphone.
Oh, somebody. Was there? Oh, Zoom?
Who's in there?
Are you in the Zoom?
I'm not in the Zoom. Yeah, it's still on.
Donna, can you go on mute? Yeah.
Do you have
Do you have your Zoom?
And I think go off video, Donna.
Can you kick her out of the Zoom room?
Okay, can I get a motion to close the
Well,
executive
to
session?
return
To
to- yeah.
return, do I have to make a motion or we just return?
No, you need a motion.
All right.
'cause It would be a vote.
Okay,
We'll make
and
a
I have a
motion.
motion to return to the regular meeting. Trustee Rosenberg, second trustee Asuma, all in favor. At 6, because Jess has not come back yet. but I'm sure she will be here shortly. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. I would like to start with a proclamation. Can I please have Mr. Edward Ned Nora up to the front? Thank you so much for your service. We have a proclamation for you for all of your years. I'm going to read it out. Oh, I'm not on the microphone. No work. Grab it. Thank you. Yeah, it won't come through on the video. All right. This proclamation reads. Hello. Whereas libraries provide an enduring connection to the past and future of our communities, nations, and civilizations and promote unrestricted access to information. And whereas for 27 years, Edward Ned Kenora has served the Village of Dobbs Ferry Public Library and has done so with enthusiasm, skill, and dedication. And whereas during Ned's tenure with the Dobbs Ferry Public Library, he served as library clerk, librarian trainee, librarian 1, librarian 2, interim library director, acting library director, assistant library director, and head of technology and circulation. And whereas Ned has made countless positive contributions to the Dobbs Ferry Public Library and the Friends of the Dobbs Ferry Public Library, and always in the best interests of the whole community. And whereas Ned has served diligently and effectively as a leader in many collaborative ventures, including obtaining grants for library security cameras, audiovisual equipment, and for the 3D printer. And whereas I officially congratulate and commend Ned for this extraordinary milestone and for the many years he has served at the Dobbs Ferry Public Library. And whereas Ned has submitted his resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the Village of the Village Board of Trustees and the entire community, I acknowledge with gratitude the contribution that Ned has made to the Village of Dobbs Ferry Public Library and to the citizens of Dobbs Ferry, and wish him well for all the days in the future. And be it further, ready? Resolved that through the authority of my office, I hereby proclaim Wednesday, February 11th, 2026 as Ned Kenora Day in the Village of Dobbs Ferry, and direct that this proclamation be carried throughout the village for people of goodwill to see and know. So thank you so much for everything that you've done, and I hope you have a wonderful retirement. I know you have a good trip planned.
Thank you very much.
If you would like to say a few words, you don't have to. No, okay. Well, thank you so much for everything, Ned. All right. We have a public hearing to open. Is there a motion to open the public hearing to receive public comment on an introductory local law amending Chapter 290 Vehicles and Traffic of the Village of Dobbs Ferry Code to add location to the schedule of prohibited left turns? That's it. Laura, trustee Rothrock, second, trustee Gupta. All in favor? All of us. So this is a local law that we started talking about last meeting. We are trying to make the left turn on, this is the one that's going on to Broadway from Maple Street. We want it to not happen between 7 and 6 to help ease the traffic that it causes from having the left turn. And it was the intention of the village to have it that way, and it was not actually executed that way. So we are trying to remedy that with this
Yeah.
public hearing. So is anyone here to speak to this? Come to the microphone and state your name and your, where you're coming from.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Tim Cunningham. I live on 23 DeVoe Street here in Dobbs Ferry. So I just want to comment on the prohibition coming up for the no left turn. I don't believe any of you live in that neighborhood of Maple Street, DeVoe Street, or Storm Street. It's a good law. It's great in the morning. It's great during school. What I'm asking for is consideration to make it from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Living in that neighborhood, there are three reasons. I'll go with the first one of turning left on the Maple Street, or left on the Broadway, going south from Maple Street. You have three opportunities at the Ashford and Broadway traffic light. You have all green going south. You have the Ashford going east, green, and you have a right turn signal. And when the Cedar Street lights are green on the Broadway, you have the right turn signal from Broadway, going south on Broadway. Three opportunities there. Going west on Ashford into Broadway, you have one opportunity for the traffic light at Broadway. If traffic gets diverted from Maple Street, or if I'm coming around DeVoe Street, a one-way street, which is a whole nother issue I'll talk about one day. Going on the Storm Street during that time from 4 to 6 or 4 to 7, we all know how much traffic backs up. You have the light, and then you got to wait 3 cycles for the next light to go. I think the school is out by 4 o'clock. I think 6 o'clock can be too late. It is a bit of convenience at that time of the night to turn down Storm and then get stuck in that bottleneck right there where you have one opportunity. So I know it's likely to become a law, but I would like future consideration to maybe make it to 4 p.m. School's out, there are no buses. Let's see. So yeah, the 3 lights, the bottleneck on Ashford during rush hour traffic, and the one opportunity to move. And if we're going to look at prohibition, I would look at a no left turn on Storm Street on Ashford between 4 and 6. Living in that neighborhood, I've been there 10 years now. That seems much more dangerous than a left after 4 p.m. on Maple Street on the Broadway. So again, the law I think is great. No issues in the morning. I read the workshop. I don't know if there was anyone from that neighborhood, Maple, Storm, or DeVoe Street on the committee that discussed this prohibition. I saw there were no issues with people on Maple Street. I don't know if people are aware or anything. But again, just something to consider for future to maybe just move it to 4 p.m. because the rush hour, for those reasons, it really is an inconvenience for people that live in that neighborhood. So just doing that left turn, it's so much easier.
Right.
I've discovered.
Thank
So
you.
please take that into consideration.
So we'll take that, and then when we discuss it, we'll take that into consideration.
All right. Thank you very much.
And then we'll also make note about the Storm Street recommendation. Thank you. Is there anybody online or anybody else here? No? Okay, you guys want to discuss it? Any more here? Do you
Yeah,
want?
just to give context, I know we talked about this before, but one of the goal is less about traffic control and more about pedestrian safety. And there's the goal of 6 o'clock, and I certainly hear your concerns, Mr. Cunningham. The goal of 6 o'clock was to line up with the school speed zone and have like one conceptual framework for like when different road behaviors turn on and off in that area. While it's true that there are no buses, there's a lot of after school activity and a lot of pedestrians crossing there. And after 4 o'clock, there is no crossing guard. So the goal is to attempt to regulate traffic through good driver behavior so that students who are leaving after school hours can can get across the street. So that's the goal. Originally, this was supposed to have been implemented with the Route 9 repaving a few years ago. There was an error in the maps and that didn't happen. So we're trying to revise that now, but it was all then and now associated with the school speed zone. And just as a point, the traffic committee made this recommendation a few years ago, back at the time Clay Kaminsky from Maple Street was on the traffic committee. So it was vetted by somebody from the neighborhood, although you are right that none of us live on Maple Street. So there we are. My speech.
And who determines, I don't know if you know this answer, but the school zone being till 6 o'clock also is.
That's a state law.
A state
That's
law.
that's a Broadway DOT designation.
Right. All
I mean,
right.
I have to say, I hadn't really thought about this. I don't live on Maple, but I come down that way. I live on Virginia. So if I'm, rainy day or something, I drop my daughter off at school. There is there's a lot of fuss to get around. I don't know how it works in the afternoon. There was a kind of simplicity, Matt, in having those turns align with the school zone, but I just don't know, and maybe it's worth looking into via further assessment, whether that is like what's actually happening on that corner. And maybe that was already done.
It was already done.
but
There
like,
was
what
the
is
traffic
the-
study that we had to do for the state when we were getting the other changes made around the repaving. The Sam Schwartz was the traffic engineer company, and they did traffic counts. I certainly don't remember the grid off the top of my head. But it made sense at the time, based on the traffic counts from 2022. It made sense at the time to have it in the afternoon as well.
Is there an opportunity to extend the crossing guard hours?
I see a head shake from the chief.
Just
I think, I also saw the village posting a need for more crossing guards today.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think erring on the side of caution for pedestrians is probably the better, response at this point. And then nothing is permanent and everything can be changed. And if it proves to be somehow a hindrance and the neighborhood agrees that it's a problem, we are always willing to change things again, because
That's what we do.
that's what we do. So, but in the meantime, if it's based on a study and it probably helps because there are a lot of kids between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Going around all the fields and after school activities. So.
I will say that between the two, we've also asked the state to extend this was also part of the same error, to extend the no left turn from Broadway southbound onto Maple also till 6 p.m. So it is, I think, in our interest to be consistent. I'm seeing some subtle head nods from the chief back there. I like seeing that when I speak. So yeah, I agree that the 6 p.m. is the better way to go, since we've already asked the DOT for that on the southbound.
All right, anybody else want to discuss? Jessica?
So from my perspective, and I want to thank Mr. Cunningham for bringing up this issue. I think it's a very interesting one. So from the perspective of so what we've asked the state to do is no left onto Maple from Broadway for that same window, right? For
Yes.
7 to 6. But I think it's a pretty different, like, if you think about the actual experience of a driver who's coming from Maple, from that section of, from maybe that side of Ashford. The left turn that they take is probably to go south on Broadway or into downtown Dobbs Ferry, or to get to the train, right? Those are these, and the bottleneck that you presented. That's a very big bugaboo for all of us at Cedar and Broadway. And I wonder if, given that the left turn that's taken there coming off of Maple is sort of a different consideration than the left turn onto Maple, because the concern we're alleviating with the left turn onto Maple is someone cutting around on the right side of the person driving south on Broadway, right? Matt?
Yes, that's for that.
That is the issue that specifically is meant to ameliorate. And but the left turn from the neighborhoods onto Broadway, you're not going to have someone merging into or merging around something. That sort of explanation doesn't make sense there. I think, one can argue that like it makes sense for things to be consistent, but I also think that like no one really necessarily notices that, and like maybe it just makes sense to have what makes sense for a particular context. So I personally would not be opposed to testing it ending at 4 coming from the neighborhoods, although I spend less time over in the middle high school campus area at that time of day, so I would defer to other folks or the traffic committee on that front, and how many students are actually like crossing at that intersection right there. But I also think that like there is a crosswalk that is, if you look at the map, there's a crosswalk before the left turn, right? You would be taking a left turn across the crosswalk, but there's also, I believe, one on the north side of that left turn on Broadway. So I'm just not sure the pedestrian issues are exactly the same, and I'm not sure that the like timing concerns are necessarily exactly the same either. So
the pedestrian issues are the same. That's what the study showed when we actually did the counts. The other consideration, and this was certainly more the case in the morning at commuter time than in the afternoon and evening, was that when Ashford is busy, people try to dump off of Ashford onto Washington and go down Maple, and that creates people in a hurry. That is also a detriment to pedestrian safety. So it's not an unreasonable thing to consider. It's just that, over all of the research that was done when we were talking about this, 4 years ago, the recommendation that went through the traffic committee and that went through the board at the time was that this was a reasonable step to take. And again, I feel rotten that I didn't catch it on the map when it was all going to be done of a piece, and that this is now a separate thing. But we do, I think we do need to adhere to what the research said.
great, that makes sense. And I will also just say on the sort of the nut of that traffic problem in the middle of the village, that is something that we are working on. And I think if we can get some of that streamlined, and also get more cars off the road, that will go a long way. So that's not an immediate fix, but just to let the community know that intersection, that creates a lot of backup, particularly around rush hour, which is what we're talking about in a lot of other places, and incentivizes some suboptimal behavior by people driving cars. That is another area that we're looking at that will hopefully alleviate some other challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to add, I live on Bellwood and Ashford. So I'm sympathetic to this because when I'm trying to make a left, sometimes I can't, and then I end up going around, and then I go down Maple, and then I make a left because I can't turn. Sometimes you can't turn left. So I see what you're saying. Like you sort of just pray that there'll be a window where you can actually leave your neighborhood if you're trying to go to the train or downtown or, so. But I also understand that there's been some studies, and initially when this came up in the workshop, it made sense to me that it sounded like it was an error on the signage, but that studies had been done. So I think maybe the best thing to do, and also how you explained that the crossing guard left at 4. But maybe this is something that we can revisit. We need to.
We can always revisit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so is there a motion to close the public hearing? Oh. Shh, yes. I'm not supposed to let you, but I'm letting you. Do it.
So much for the new
I
policy.
know.
Tim Cunningham,
we
23
just
Bow
did a
Street.
Passed a
policy.
policy about this last time.
I'm a really hard hitter.
Just one thing I forgot to mention, just unintended consequences. I'm not just saying Mercy people, but a lot of people, to avoid the intersection of Broadway and Ashford, take a left on Maple Street, go to Storm, and then try to take a left onto Ashford. Again, it gets really backed up now. So if we can't make a left to go down to Cedar Street, down to the train station, down south on Broadway from Maple Street, you just got that many more cars turning onto Storm Street, and one car tries to make a left, they can't do it. It's just gonna get backed up, backed up, backed up.
We hear you. That is a separate discussion. Oh, sorry.
So I'm just, so that might be an unintended consequence, because I see backup even at this point right now. So adding all the other vehicles, trying to take a right turn onto Ashford from there could create more backup onto Maple and who knows that area.
Mayor, I'd like to suggest that we put a workshop agenda item on for talking about a no left onto from Storm Street onto Ashford.
Right, okay. Okay, does anybody want to close the public hearing? Trustee Rosenberg, second. Trustee Gupta, all in favor? All right, so I think for now, we will take a motion, if there is one, to adopt the local law, knowing that nothing is permanent and we can always change, but in the interest of pedestrian safety in the short term and the immediate term, is there a motion to adopt the local law to add the prohibited left turns on Maple between 7 and 6? Trustee Rothrock, second. Trustee Patino. Any further discussion on the matter? No? Okay. All in favor? Everyone? Yeah? Okay. All right. But more traffic at that intersection to be discussed, for sure, always. Courtesy of the floor, anybody here? Oh, yay.
Where have you been, Patty? We missed you at the last meeting.
I usually don't get yays. Patty Steinsteiner, member of the Sustainable Dobbs Committee. I know you guys covered this in the work session, but I think it's really important that we get it out to lots more people. This all has to do with the efficiency of the heating and cooling system at the library. And anyone who saw that building in construction originally, when they saw what they were doing, would have gone to a lot of people and said, that's not going to work. You can't put the unit under the concrete slab and have it exhaust out the top. Everything the village has done since then has been kind of well, let's just do this and just kind of fix it for a minute. We've spent a lot of money doing that. So I think what we really need to do is understand that this is the time to really figure out how to get this working. And what I'm going to do actually is read, these are not my words. This is from Matt, who's our chair, and I think he says it right. The more square footage of municipally, whatever that is, owned space, I know what I need to do. Okay. Space that we electrify, the more points we receive in both the climate smart community and the clean energy community programs. Both offer potential grant opportunities. We want to be ready to submit for max points pronto because the grants are allocated on a rolling basis until the funds are depleted. This project would be a good case for a CSC grant through the State Consolidated Grant Program. And as we have done in the past, we're very enthusiastic about working on that with you and seeing what we can do. Our track record is pretty good at getting grants. So I think this is where we really should put some effort. And SD's strong recommendation is that when and if the village decides to fix this issue, they do so with electric heat pumps and not a new fuel, a fossil fuel boiler. So I think we're all in the consensus on that. We're all in agreement. We're going to go out there and get this done. Matt? Yes, let's
We're
do
gonna
Not
it.
continue
responding.
figuring things out.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Patty. Anybody else? Anybody online? Okay. Let's go to our reports of staff. Eric, that's you.
Eric Show. Good evening. It's the theme of the night is the library, so I'm happy to be here. So Eric Carlson, Library Director. So I will give I guess our mid-year report on what's going on at the library. So the last time I was here was June. So starting off in the summertime, our summer reading program was a big success. We had summer reading programs for kids, teens, and adults again this year. It was the second year that we did a program for adults. Adults, we had 36 participants. Teens, we had 12, although I was told that it was more. So I have to find out what the actual number is. And children, we had 195 participants, which is, I think, one of the biggest turnouts for kids that we've had. I applied for the Department of Library Development grant this year. This is a 50/50 grant. This for new security cameras, carpeting the first floor, replacing one of the compressors, and refurnishing and creating a new teen space in the library. So that's in the process of getting approved. We'll hopefully get the money sometime next year and then move forward with some of these. Ferrycon did well this year, considering there were two other big events that day that did not help with the plan with that. But we had an entire area for Magic the Gathering this year and some new vendors. Our New Year's Eve party was the biggest yet. We had over 100 people attending. We split it up into multiple rooms, and the kids all had a great time. And we just had the friends had their mini golf fundraiser, and that was a huge success as well. I'm estimating about 250 people, but well over 200 people come through, which was probably one of the biggest library programs we've ever had. Everyone had a great time, and everybody wants us to do it again next year, so I know what I'll be doing for the next year. And it also raised a good amount of money for our friends group. It was one of their biggest fundraisers that they've ever held. We continue to offer our book groups and local author visits. We started showing more documentary films this year, and sometimes having discussions after them. That was something that I wanted to do as far as our movies go, is instead of just your average movie, to have something with a little bit more depth to it. Our circulating Rokus are picking up a bit. We have 6 circulating Rokus. We started last June with like 1 or 2 different streaming services on them. And that's getting a little bit more traction. I'm going to look at it again to see any changes, if different streaming services, if we want more. And we're also going to look at how we're advertising and marketing it. I think that could be improved as well. But people are picking up that we do offer them. And we are almost ready to display the Friends of Wicker Creek artifacts and photos, the ones that were here and were falling apart. We're working on, we've gotten new display cases. The Wickers Creek folks are going to come in and look at the artifacts again, and we're going to lay out a new display for them. Westchester Library System, they did see a budget cut that will affect some of our online services like Hoopla and Canopy, that will be going into effect soon, and some of the other online offerings. Nothing for this year, but possibly by next January. I think they might end up cutting things like Mango Languages and one other online resource. But with the cuts to hoopla and canopy, we can offset those, say through a very great fundraiser. We can use funds from that to have our kind of like our own to increase for only Dobbs Ferry residents. We can use funds towards that. So we should be able to offset that, that loss. We are in the process of finding a replacement for Ned. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to start canvassing soon to find a new assistant director. This spring, one of our clerks will have finished their master's degree in library sciences. We're planning, and I've talked to her already, to offer her a part-time librarian position. If a full-time librarian position opens, that would be great, but the part-time position will help her build her career, build her resume so that she can move on to another library. She's going to make a great librarian, and I'm going to do whatever I can to keep her. But if that doesn't work, I can at least hope to help her build her career and get started. We are starting to explore creating a library of things. If you're not familiar with it, it's like having a hoopla or Wi-Fi hotspots, but this could expand into like kitchen appliances, tools, gardening equipment. Libraries across the country have been doing this. It's not an easy undertaking, just based on how our library is and storage and checking out, but we're going to start surveying the community to see if people will actually use it. Because if they're not, then I'm not going to do it. But if they will, then I will certainly explore adding that into the collection. And that's all. Any questions?
Thank you.
No.
Great update. Sounds like everything's going great over there.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, to the meat. We have a resolution, a lengthy one, petitioning our representatives and the United States government to end ICE and Customs and Border Patrol abuses. I guess I'll take a motion first if we want to consider it. Trustee Rosenberg, second, Trustee Gupta. Okay, I just wanted to say, just in short, we are referring to the Fourth and the Fifth Amendments to the Constitution regarding due process of law and unreasonable search and seizures and how it relates to the excessive and deadly force that we're seeing in the cities around the nation. And we're basically bringing this resolution forth because it threatens the peace and safety and welfare of our residents in Dobbs Ferry. And that's why this is a larger governmental discussion at a small village level. We're asking to recall ICE and CBP forces until a better strategy can be developed and an immigration policy is reformed through restructuring the leadership in those departments, and there would be an investigation on what has occurred. Our neighboring municipalities in Hastings and Ardsley have already passed similar resolutions to this. And we trust that our representatives at all the levels above the village level are taking the matter seriously and working toward a better solution. And so we want to show our support of that by pushing this forward. We wouldn't want what happened on the streets of Minneapolis to come to the streets of Dobbs Ferry. I think we all know someone who would be out there peacefully trying to help their neighbors. And I just can't imagine losing a member of our community in this way. So, all in favor? Okay, 7-2. And that's that. Second resolution here, is there a resolution to accept the resignation of Library Board of Trustees member Sam Gruen?
Really is library night tonight.
It is library. First, Trustee Asuma, second, Deputy Mayor Galen. All sadly in favor. All. Okay. Thank you for your service, and he apparently still wants to do things in an unofficial capacity, then that's wonderful. We will take that. Is there a resolution authorizing the closure of the offices at Village Hall, the Department of Public Works, and the Village Court on Friday, May 1st, 2026 for Records Management Day? First, Deputy Galen, Deputy Mayor Galen, second, Trustee Gupta. All in favor? Okay. Number 4, is there a resolution authorizing the 15th Annual River Keeper Sweep on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026 at the Dobbs Ferry waterfront from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.? Trustee Rothrock, second, Trustee Rosenberg, all in favor? All unanimous. Is there a motion? Number 5, we have a lot of dates here in parking. To authorize the street closure of portions of Main and Cedar Streets and waive the enforcement of parking regulations for the off-street parking lot at 99 Cedar Street on July 19th, 2026 in support of the Dine Out Dobbs event. First, Trustee Gupta, second, Trustee Rosenberg, all in favor? Any discussion? No? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. 6, is there a resolution? Is there a motion to authorize the street closure of Cedar and Main Streets and waive parking enforcement at 99 Cedar Street parking lot for the 2026 Ferry Festa scheduled for Saturday, October 3rd, 2026 with a rain date of Sunday, October 4th, 2026? First, Trustee Gupta, second, Trustee Asuma. Any discussion? No.
We
all
have
in-
never done this so early. It's great.
Yes, thank you to Kendra for putting all this
We gotta
together.
lock it in before like competition.
Yeah, all in favor? It's unanimous. 7th, consider a resolution. We are considering a resolution to authorize the street closure of Cedar and Main Streets for the annual trick or treating event to be held on Friday, October 30th, 2026, between the hours of 2 and 7 p.m. Is there a first for this? First, Trustee Gupta, second, Trustee Asuma. Quick discussion.
This is.
We always have
right.
it on Halloween, which is the 31st. This is actually the 30th. It's Friday, and this is done not on a Halloween date in an effort to not make our downtown businesses have to shut down the streets between 2 and 7 on a Saturday night in the fall when they're about to enter winter. Also to see if it has a positive or negative response from the residents and whether or not that is a problem or celebrated by parents who always have to trick or treat on Halloween night anyway, and our celebration just extends it for many hours. So we will be open to feedback on this, because we are always open to feedback.
This is 2 days of Halloween.
It's 2 days of Halloween.
2 days of Halloween.
Extra. Don't look at it as changing the date. Look at it as extra Halloween.
Extra Halloween, they're probably getting extra Halloween at the elementary school that day anyway. So now they're gonna just continue their extra Halloween. And then have Halloween.
Can you confirm that the dog parade will also be
Jeez.
held on Friday?
No,
What?
I can't.
There's a dog parade?
Yeah, the waterfront.
It's a
That
pet
does,
parade.
that
Sorry,
does
you're
not
allowed
include
to-
closure of
You're
streets.
allowed to
mean-
bring your ferret or your cat if you so choose.
Your
but most
goldfish.
people dress
Your
as dogs.
alligators.
I did leash train a cat.
Llama.
Bring
Unrelated.
'em.
Can we vote on this? All right,
Sure.
all right, we're all in favor of this
Would
and
2
open
days
to
of
feedback.
Halloween bring high school kids out?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to authorize the street closure of Cedar Street at Broadway and Main Street to Chestnut Street for the annual holiday light parade and tree lighting event to be held on December 6th, 2026, which is a Sunday night? First, Trustee Rosenberg, second, Trustee Asuma. This is a quick discussion because this is a Sunday versus a Saturday for the same reason of trying not to close the streets so many times on a Saturday night. And we all think that it will just be as lovely and wonderful on a Sunday night. And so we are going to try this out on a Sunday. So all in favor?
And
All-
also, if I'm allowed to have a point of information discussion. I also think because this falls into Hanukkah too, it would make sense to do the menorah lighting.
We've reached out to them to see, and
Okay.
we'll let you know what they decide.
Okay,
But
but right now it's just tree.
right now it's just tree.
Okay,
And the parade, which is, super fun part that
Yeah, that was.
getting bigger and bigger each year.
That looks like it's gonna be one of our kind of,
Staples.
it's gonna be a staple now,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Okay, is there a motion to authorize a tax certiorari settlement with petitioner Oceana Partners 2 LLC at 72 Main Street, 42 Chestnut Street, and 50 Chestnut Street? In the amount, do I need to read this out in the amount of Lori Lee or, okay.
$1,578.04.
$4,578.04.
Oh, 4 cents.
No, at the end, 4 cents.
I know, but.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion for that?
5 years?
Deputy, there's another one?
There's more.
Oh,
Juice, there is
the
a lot
second
more.
one is
$3,291.92.
$3,291.92.
21 to 25.
That's it, right?
For the
two of
tax
those?
years 21 through 25.
For tax years 21 to 25. Now, is there a motion? Trustee Rothrock? Yes. Second, trustee Rosenberg? All in favor? It's everybody. Okay. The handbook's back. The handbook's back. The handbook's back. Is there a motion to approve the employee handbook as updated on February 6th, 2026? Trustee Rosenberg, second. Trustee Gupta, any discussion?
thank you for everyone's
It's
hard work
done.
on this.
All in favor? That's everybody. Okay. I don't know. Trustee Gupta didn't. raise-
Sorry, yes.
Drinks on me.
The
Hey.
the long and
Dun,
winding
dun.
road.
Thank you for all of your work on that.
Ugh.
That was quite an undertaking.
Mhm.
And we're a better village because of this. Ooh. Is there a motion to award the bid for wayfinding signage Phase 1 to Wellcraft Manufacturing at 2113 North Hamilton Street, Suite B, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, 23230 for a total of no way, not. For a total of $106,760.09. Start with the motions, trustee Rosenberg, second, deputy mayor Galen. Discussion is that this is funded by the Westchester County Downtown Improvement Grant and not village tax dollars. It is funded by that grant. And this was the lowest responsible bidder that Ashton Design, who we worked with on the whole design system, has worked with and has supported. And so we're gonna get signage. It's very exciting.
And it's really nice. It's really
It
nice
is
stuff.
really nice.
It's also nice to see that the lowest bidder is also one of their preferred bidders,
Yeah.
which is not usually how it works.
I know, I don't know why, but I'll
Yes.
take it. All in favor?
No?
That's everybody.
Signage.
Signage,
So
okay.
just, I know this is not part of I missed this part of the discussion, but we do have another component of signage coming, like this is
Yes.
the base.
Well, this is, I mean, it's a
Contract.
significant amount still. It's not nothing. It's a lot of the things that are really gonna point people to the downtown. And then there's a big chunk that we've applied for in part of the New York Forward Grant. That would be some of the more substantial costing ones. And should we get that grant, then that'd be wonderful. Should we not get that grant, we can edit it down and do whatever it is that we are willing to do beyond this. But this is still gonna go a long way in guiding people, pedestrians on and off the aqueduct to tell them where to go downtown. There's some really fantastic ones there. There's the ones going along Broadway. There's ones guiding people from other parts of the village to tell them to keep going to the downtown. So we're gonna do a little summary for the newsletter on Friday to tell people what they can expect to see when it comes, so that it's not a huge shock for the many people who read the newsletter.
You're gonna post graphics?
We are gonna post
Yeah.
graphics to show what they are so that it's not a total surprise, even though we've been showing what they are for quite some time now. So, yes. All right, we have some new business items and I don't have it organized well, but new business items. We have a request for the Little League Parade, opening day parade on April 11th. So I will read this out loud so everyone knows what we're saying. The parade will begin at 9 a.m. at Dobbs Ferry High School and proceed to Memorial Park, just like it has been for many years. And they're asking for permission to close the streets along the parade route through the chief of police during that time. So is there a motion to consider this request from the Dobbs Ferry Youth Little
Do we
League?
have to take a motion to add this to the agenda?
No, I have to take a motion. Is there a motion to add this to the agenda? Trustee Gupta?
Doesn't it get to be on the agenda because it's new business, or do we have?
It's not on the-
Hmm, good
It's a
question.
specific item of new business. I would
So,
certainly for the benefit of the clerk, take a motion to add
Okay.
it.
so yes, I have Gupta as first.
Yeah.
Second is Rosenberg. All in favor of adding it to the agenda? Everyone.
This is one of our traditions
Yes,
of Dove,
it
so,
is. It's true.
yeah.
Yep. All right. So is there a motion to approve their request? Trustee Gupta, second. Deputy Mayor Galen, all in favor? Everyone, thank you, Deputy Mayor Galen, for getting this to us from the Little League. And thank you to the police department for keeping them safe as they walk from one place to the other. What other new business? What other new business did we have?
Did Deputy Mayor Galen have updates from her?
Yeah, but
There
I
was-
want to make sure we get to the new business
Oh,
first.
sorry, I thought that was.
Anything-
I don't have any other
was
items.
it?
Is there something else?
There was also a Little League weekend request. I don't know if if there was also, if that
Mm.
was added as well.
Let me see.
I don't have any other.
Now they
Opening
want to
day
get Memorial.
weekend. The parade. And.
So the implication on the Little League weekend is that there would be night games on May 15th and 16th, which are Friday and Saturday nights, which involves getting the lights up. But other than that, it would just be,
You have to
Um,
extend the hours of opening and closing at Memorial,
Okay,
Okay.
so then I think
which we
we'll,
did last year. You have a resolution that did that last
Okay.
year, because it's supposed to
but
close.
since it's
at-
May 15 and 16, we'll just add it to the next agenda because we don't have it ready.
Okay, we can do. And we can look to find the resolution that was passed last year to extend the opening hours of Memorial.
Okay. Sorry, Jess, got 1 out of 2.
we'll take it.
Any other new business? That was it? Okay. Now for the announcements. Jess, back to you. Did you want to discuss things from liaison reports in relation to the goals that we should consider? I don't know if we're going to be able to adopt them at the next meeting.
Yeah,
I'd like to try to-
I think it's more in terms of like maybe adding things to the goals that are already pretty close to being finalized. The Parks and Rec Commission has been working really hard on a naming and dedication protocol for the village. This is something that has come up a number of times and that we've tasked them with sort of taking the first draft of, which combines research that they've done, really amazing research they've done on a bunch of other municipal policies around naming. And this would be for trees and benches in the parks. We're not talking about like the street naming and things like that. Which is both a way to both hits on our like effective use of taxpayer dollars in terms of helping involve the community in continuing to keep benches and trees in great shape in all of our parks, and also expanding the amount of seating and shade that we have in our parks as those concerns continue to increase. So I think that can definitely go in there. And then another thing which hits on both the sort of tech and the communications and the community involvement is thinking through a policy around use of the embassy center as a more of a community-wide community center that can both be rented out for private parties and things like that. That can also provide public space potentially for nonprofits and community groups, and can be added to the roster for like village committees that need meeting space. So I can I'll detail out what potentially could be added to the goals, but I think they're hitting on a lot of key points
Jess,
of those.
do you know if there was any discussion about the Gold Park sponsors that had paid 7 years ago?
We're on it. I think we gotta get the Gold Park work done. There's not, but that's on us, the Board of Trustees, to like finalize now. That's not really on the Parks Commission.
So
I know, I'm sorry
No,
to
go ahead.
interrupt you. I know when we had an acting administrator, our former building inspector was an acting administrator, there was an attempt to do a naming policy across the board for the village, having to do with the plaques and the trees and the benches. And I know that the Friends of the Waterfront Park had an actual policy in place, which differed from that which was being presented by your acting administrator at the time. So I would just encourage the Parks and Rec Commission to be sure that they've reached out to the Friends organization, because I know that they had some pretty strong opinions at that time,
Okay,
and
thank
the
you.
whole matter was tabled.
I
It's
will,
terrible that I've been around that long.
no.
I will flag that for them. Thank you.
So I think from here, if everybody has any feedback that, and I can work to consolidate it and then have it at our next workshop so that we can hopefully adopt it and move on, and then have that as a basis for all the decisions that we're making for the budget and all the decisions we make with our boards and committees and the work that they're doing. So then move on with the year.
I do have one question, though. We talked about making some room at budget time for requests from boards and committees. And I'm not sure we landed on exactly what the timing expectation we should set is for making those requests.
That's part of this, is so if they have requests that are things that they want to happen in 2026 as part of that list,
Mhm.
then we would take ownership over those things if we're putting them in that list.
And we need to get them from the committees by
The next meeting,
the next meeting. Okay, good.
and like how those things relate to the goals that are listed. Okay, all right. Who wants to adjourn?
I have an announcement.
Oh, goodness.
I know you don't usually ask me for them, but this is actually good news. I have been appointed to the executive committee of the municipal and state law section of the New York State Bar Association. So I will be speaking on your behalf and my other municipal clients' behalves before the State Bar Association on many, many topics. And I will freely be bringing back recommendations and advice from the section, which spans the entire state of New York. And you have to find from your own NICOM meetings that we all all our communities have the same basic needs and basic issues. And I just want to assure you that I'm a voice now through Albany and the State Bar Association on your behalf.
Nice, congratulations. I did a smaller one. I forgot. I was appointed to the executive committee of Westchester Municipal Officials Association.
That's wonderful.
Smaller. That's small, yeah, I need a pause. So that means similarly, but only in Westchester. I'll be in the room making the decisions of what their priorities are for the county. But not as good as NICOM would be. Baby steps. All right, anybody else have announcements? Liz Draper, the clerk? No?
You're very famous, Liz.
You are.
At
NICOM.
At NICOM.
No,
I
he didn't
sit
even give a
down there.
NICOM wrap up, but we had a wonderful time at
Yeah.
NICOM and Liz was sorely missed. But like Mayor Kabulian and Mayor Armacost were gone too, so it was like, we had to step it up and represent for Westchester and.
Yeah.
Such a teacher's pet.
I know. We got kicked out of the governor's mansion.
We did,
Um,
we did.
just because we stayed a really long time
And the war room.
and that's a different topic.
That's a-
But we had a great time and we learned a lot.
Yeah.
We met a lot of other mayors and trustees.
But I sat down at a table and
They keep
like
talking.
Dobbs Ferry. We love Liz.
Who wants to adjourn? Trustee Zeno?